Hmm. This is some good food right here. Hmm. Did you know what food is just as good? The food we get in this game. Look at this. We got some grilled meat. We got some ham. We got some pasta. Fish tacos. Mm, so much. Oh, and pears. I eat pears. We just finished making some fish tacos, some more red tea, and one more cornbread. So, let's take the this, and the fish tacos and put them away. Because fish tacos, food 46 and health 40. So that's a very good emergency food. This brass can't be really sold for anything, so I'll just drop it out there. Just close the door and crouch. How are we doing on food? If you look, well, when the bar is up at the bottom, down here, the green bar is food, and the blue bar is water. And the purple bar across the top is, I think, experience, XP. Pretty sure, anyway. We're just about to enter the next night. Just like that. Having some lag problems, surprisingly. But hey, lag problems are fine. Oh, I'm not scared of you anymore. I used to play this game and the noises that it made, I was like, what does that mean? What does it mean? And I'm like, shut up. Mm. Anyway, in the morning, we have the mission, go back and talk to the trader, and also have some stuff to sell her. This stuff down here. We'll return the supplies as well, get something for that, and then sell everything on this bar and this bar. Keep this. Keep the first aid bandage. Oh, shouldn't move that there. And probably sell the aloe cream. Yeah. But everything else, I sell that, get the reward for all of that, and then do the same thing again. This game is slightly repetitive in that you go out, you do a mission, which is either finding buried supplies, which I don't do a lot of those missions, kind of hard to find it. It's like, go find some buried supplies, and it takes you out to this field and says, here's a giant circle. It's somewhere in there. Here's a shovel. Good luck. Won't tell you exactly where it is. Won't tell you exactly what depth it's at. Here's just a general yellow circle painted on the ground. Good luck. And you take forever digging around the circle only to find out that it was either on the very edge of the circle or very center of the circle, but either deeper than you thought it was. Fricking. Shut up. We peeked out at 4 viewers there for a second. But I will be right back. I've had too much tea. I am back. I just finished watching, before I start, oh, excuse me, hiccups. Just before I started, this stream, I just finished watching The Pope's Exorcist, which is a movie based on Father Amorth, which, if you don't know who Father Amorth is, Bear, you see that right there? Those things, extremely hard to kill. But I guess I have a thing that one-shots, boom, for Q. But see how much health that took away. I'm down to 87 now. I'm gonna use, one of those. Oh, what do you give me if I chop you up? Hold on. You give me meat. Okay. Some of these bears, when you chop them up, they give you rotten meat, which is not useful at all. Let's use one of these. Glad we have 2 viewers this stream, even if it is a bit choppy. How much raw meat do we have? 4? Okay. Boiled meat is pretty useful. 7 grilled meat. I think I'm gonna go with that. What can bones recipe? What bone knife, glue, and this, which so bones are mostly useless in this game. It's morning. Let's let that cook, and then we'll head over to the trader. Of course you're hungry. Here, have one of these, and by all means have another one. In fact, you know what? Because I'm feeling generous, have 2 of these. And 1 of these. There you go. Have fun. Keep those meters as high as possible. Also, I've been checking. I don't think we yet have. Let me use this extra. I don't think we yet have an exact date for the update. May, yes, but not an exact date, unfortunately. The other thing that's unfortunate, the amount of lag I'm having on this stream right now. And what is also bad is my driving skills. Yep. Also, the new update will not have as much protection for drivers, so when you hit stuff, you're gonna do a lot of damage to your vehicles when you hit stuff, especially at full speed. Well, let's look at Wraith as you have to Let me read this guy's comment a second. Not relate. This is totally unrelating to 7 Days to Die. This guy says, you have 2 short subjects and segment pieces in your podcast. Listening to a recent podcast, you seem to be moving subject every minute or so, which is entirely barbaric. Very interesting that you say it like that. Entirely barbaric. Oh my word. That's very weird. I don't think I have listened to a sus podcast ever. You mean a more sus podcast ever? I've heard some pretty sus podcasts, but there's not a podcast that's more sus than mine. Please keep to one subject, or at least 10 or 15 minutes. Fact check them and CFC, cause the freaking ozone to go haywire. So, I was on that podcast with 2 of my friends. Let me explain. And, well, he's kind of stupid. Like, I had a lot to say during that episode, and he was like, no, it's not, and I don't agree with that. And also, he didn't want to have a topic. Usually our podcasts have topics. We say, okay, this whole 30-minute episode is going to be on one topic. But no, the last episode, he just wanted to jump around topics for some reason. I don't know. But it seemed interesting. Very sus as well. I agree with you on that point. Automod. Held message for reason. Race, ethnicity, or religion. So he goes to say, oh, okay. Let me read this other thing that he said. He sent, let's see, how many messages? That one, 2, 3 that got held, 4, 5. Did you send the same message multiple times? Okay. You said something about stupid Germans. Listen. I'm German. So none of that talk here. I am German. Let's see, what else did he say? Germans, let's see, he says, the Germans also were not more powerful than what? The Allies? I would say they had more men. Well, no. They had less men, but they had high technology. They had Volkswagen, all of that. Their engineers were good, I guess is what I'm saying. The tiger's weight could cause them to break down. That's true. Just like me, I have some weight, and it causes me to break down mentally every now and then. You also forget. Also, I don't frequently fact check my stuff. I know certain things, and my friend knows absolutely nothing. So he's the one you should be yelling at, not me. Let's see. You also forget the British 6PDR gun. What is that? Could still penetrate through the frontal plate of a tiger. Interesting. Didn't know that. Most German tanks would break down due to heavy weight and poor decision in materials. Their guns were overkill and usually were not useful because most tanks were not that heavily armored, but were also aligned in some degree to prevent a lot of stupid German tank designs. Wow. And then he just sent something new through. This is totally not relying at all to 7 Days to Die. The first Panzers were originally wiped by old French AMC tanks. AMC, like the theater? In the first invasion of France. Also, forget about everyone else in World War II. Britain and its Commonwealth nations. Poland, Czechoslovakia, German quality of tanks were still awful. Yeah, I'm not going to agree or disagree with you on that fact. Also, Poland and Czechoslovakia were Germany for the longest of times, pretty much since the beginning of the war. So, those nations didn't exist on their own because they were Germany from like 1941 onward. The Panzers were still a crap design with awful side panels and side armor on the tanks, which were easily penetrated by the Russian T-43S. Fascinating. Yeah, I'm not an expert on World War II. I just like talking about it because we have to fill a 30-minute episode of a podcast. So whether the stuff in it is incorrect or not, I won't know until someone comes and yells at me later. So that's... Oh, and he sends more. Hi, what's up? How's it going? Very good. We're taking a moment off from 7 Days to Die to read this guy's fact-checking on my most recent podcast episode, which if you want to go listen to it, it's sus. The most recent episode especially. And on the Ukraine subject, Ukraine is not mostly using German weaponry. No, but I've seen a lot of photographs of old German and Soviet era weapons being used in Ukraine right now. Highly rare. Not as rare as you'd think, actually. Russia is still using technology from 1973. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I say. Your T-72s are still in use. It's a laughingstock of the country. Ukraine is mostly using NATO-given weapons, which the Russians are then stealing and using against them. And assisted vehicles, and yes, they are toppling Russia because they are sophisticated, good Western weaponry. And yet, the Ukrainians have not been able to push Russia out of their country during this whole war. I wonder what that's about. Russia is using more out-of-date weaponry than the Taliban. And the Taliban won. So, what does that say for Russia? I don't know how oh, he sends more. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Also, I'm not an expert, so don't take what I say as fact. Just take it as my opinion, even if it's wrong. The Super Hornet is also... He goes on a long way. The Super Hornet is also designed for a different purpose of combat. The Super Hornet... I have no idea what any of this means, but I need to play some 7 Days to Die, so just keep sending your messages in, and I'll read them at some point. Anyway, I'm not an expert on any of this, so I have no idea what you're talking about when you say any of those terms.
Meds, good job. I knew you could do it.
I'm gonna sell it anyway. But thanks for the fact check. I didn't know any of that, so thanks for letting me know. Also, why don't you do a podcast? If you know a lot, you could. I did it pretty easily. If you know all of that pretty easily, you should do your own podcast. I'm sure a lot of people would be interested. Also, what is popping up? Do you still drink blood, fam? Nah, that was a one-time thing. Also, why the hell did I do that? I don't know. I had a psychotic break when I was like 14 or something. If anybody else listening to this stream doesn't understand that context,
Thanks for take care of you.
it's one of the earlier episodes. Shut up, I'm talking to my friends. Or viewers. Whatever you are. Yeah, so whatever episode that is in, go listen to it to get the full context of the story. By the way, you're my favorite streamer. When you gonna buy that didgeridoo? What? When you gonna buy that didgeridoo? What do you mean? Also, put a shirt on, really? Really? It's a zombie apocalypse. Like, there's so much skin showing a zombie would be like, and you're dead. So that's pretty sure. Come on. Come on. Fetch.
You're looking to earn some. If you finish 2 more jobs this week,
How much money do I have? 5,000?
Employee of the month.
Hold on. What do you have in your inventory right now? She has an AK-47 that we could buy for 7,000, but we don't have enough. Maybe we'll next time. I'll keep that. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for letting me know that you have that. We have first aid kit. I'll buy that. Those are really useful. Let's see, weapons, irons are to have. Let's see, iron crossbow. An old iron crossbow is worth the same as an AK-47. Can you shout out my friend? No, I cannot. Also, this other person saying, what's your Discord profile? I've had so many of you come in and be like, hey, I do work, can I send you some samples? And then they never say anything ever again, so get out of here. Tools, let's see, tools. What else should I buy? You have a cement mixer, but extremely expensive one. Jeez. Let's see. Meat. She has the schmeat, if you know what I mean. Anyway. Science. Armor. Scrap gloves. And then secret stash. Not so secret, I can see it all up right here. What do you mean secret? Nothing I want, though.
Come back and see me sometime.
Anyway, any advice on relationship advice with my steamy hot boyfriend? Advice? If he's steamy hot, if he truly is steamy hot, then again, don't take my advice as gospel or anything, but if he's as steamy hot as you claim, do him. Or maybe not, who knows? Up to you. But if he is really steamy hot, then maybe you should do him. Anyway. Oh, look. Honey, did you leave the stove on? Ow, I'm stuck. Also, relationship advice might be a good podcast episode. Coming from 2 people, me and Nathan, that have never, ever been in a relationship. How do you take multiple shots to the head and get back up? That makes no sense. Yeah, sit down. Thanks for the advice. I'm gonna have some steamy... Okay. Have fun with that. Invite me next time. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm a little bit kidding. Anyway. Yeah, have fun with that. Damn, I'm thirsty. Why am I drinking out of an empty glass? I'm retarded. Okay. Yeah, queen. Dang. And stones. There we go. Take that. And then, what does that give me? Oh, scrap. Okay. Where's this light coming from? No light in here. Also, I'm pretty sure that when you wrench something, it doesn't just blow up randomly. That makes no sense. Anyway. Where are we going? Up. And I missed entirely. Okay. Let's try that again, shall we? Up. There we go. Ooh, there's a bag here. What do you got inside of you? Hooded sweatshirt. And take that as well, yeah. Take Modify. I'm going to take the green dye. I'm going to scrap it. I'm going to take the one I'm wearing. This one, right here. Modify it. Put green dye on it. And that was green. Oh, I hate these birds. Yeah, come here, bird. Sit the frick down. Oh, why'd you put your legs up like that? Ew. I think that bird was a little bit, Anyway, that was a little weird. Really, bird, you're gonna just die like that? Can we get a relationship advice podcast, please? I think it would be good advice. Good advice coming from me and a friend that that have not ever been in relationships with a woman or a man or whatever. That would be really useful. Just listening to two guys who have never been in. Well, I would say never officially been in a relationship. I've been in a relationship, but it was some time ago, and I probably talk about that at least once on the podcast, so stay tuned for that. Who said woman? Yeah, that's true. It could be a man. Who knows? Also, why did this guy just disappear? This guy became my father when I was born. I'm kidding. My father's around. Anyway, let's enter. Like I did with your mom last night. No. Do that. All right, what do we got? Soup. Nice. Thanks for that. Beakers, those sell well. These sell, I guess. Crocking pot? Or, did I say crocking pot? I am so retarded. Also, why did it just get dark and then light again suddenly? I hear you. What the why are you making so much freaking noise? Oh, there you are. Sit the frick down. Ow. Hey. Yeah, disappear. Frick you. Ah, look, more iron arrows, which we have a level 5 bow for. Are you dead? Weirdly. Oh, and he's going now. Alright. Coffee maker, what do you have inside of you? Just coffee beans, nothing of use. We basically come in here to these missions and tear everything apart. Search all cabinets, see if there's anything of use. Murky water can be distilled later into boiled water, which is very useful. Blueberries. Interesting. Good to know, good to know, good to know. Empty glasses can then be refilled with murky water, which then, anyway. More boiled water. That's a lot of boiled water. That's old sink. What do you have inside of you? Lead fishing weights. Alright. Toaster, I'd love to take a bath with you sometime. I mean, never mind. Forget I said that. Pipe machine gun and more ammo. Fascinating. Oh, hello. You got into my zone. Never touch me again. And he never will. Sometimes you just have to fool the guy. Anyway, back into the game. You get a little distracted there with talk of my most recent podcast episode, but tomorrow is Wednesday, so you'll hear a brand new episode. Hey, yo, why do you fall like that? Why do you fall like that? Anyway, tomorrow, Wednesday, you'll hear a brand new episode of it. So I think I'll talk to my friend Nathan about it, and we'll get it. We'll get you your dating episode, your dating advice episode. If you really want a dating advice episode, then we'll get one for you. I'll definitely be having some opinions to share on that fact. Hello. Boom. Boom. Hey. Oh frick! Don't look down the skirt. Frick you. I hear a horde coming outside. And close the door. What do you do when you get that brass radiator? Okay, we've got several of those. Oh, hello. Oh, there's a lot of you. Nightstand, what do you have? Suit pants. Interesting. Ow. Never touch me again. You hear me? These guys keep touching me. Hmm. What's behind you? Nothing, and I got some broken glass, which is useless. Looks like this person did in fact leave, unless, of course, they are still here and just not saying anything. I never know. The only time I know when people are actually here or not is when they talk. Perception +1 or agility +1. I swear perception. I'm a perceptive fellow. Look at those things. Treasure. Lucky looter. And one left. Master Chef Grandma. Where is it? In the attic? Oh, yeah, there it is. Sit down. Moldy backpack. What do we have? Bone knife. Which is something I can't use. It is nighttime, my dudes. Okay, where? Oh, bird's nest. Hello. Do you have any? No. Thought you might have some eggs or something. Where the frick? Oh, there you are. Ow. Got my motorcycle stuck. But some very interesting opinions I've heard today. Also, again, not an expert on anything, so whatever I say in a podcast episode is probably just my opinion. Wait a second. Hey, yo, is that the Fortnite bus? Nah, I just made everybody unsubscribe. Yucca growing. I don't really use brass. Alright, it's time to put some stuff away, shall we? Equipment in the equipment locker. Health and food in this locker. How's my health or food meter? I'm gonna go ahead and eat pears. It also appears that I am now alone in this stream. And it's been 38 minutes. So, after this, finishes cooking, I'll wait for the morning, and then we'll go to the trader and get rid of some of the stuff. In the next episode, I got you there, didn't I? Alright, well, thanks for joining us and having your conversation. Really interesting. I'll show you the long everything that she ever sent. He or she. Whoever. Account created 31 minutes ago, so you didn't even exist before now. So, see you later.